Hello, I'm Leighton Renfro. I've been skateboarding probably about since the fourth grade. I remember one time I found a skateboard underneath one of the portables and I re-hit it underneath another portable and found or ended up getting my friend's mom to drive us back after school ended to the elementary school to get the skateboard. I used to rollerblade at Sun and Ski Sports on the 4 foot half pipe. Always saw skateboarders there. I was more into rollerblading though whenever I was younger. One of my best friends had played ice hockey, and I don't know, I just always liked rollerblading. Me and my friends would go and rollerblade at the tank, and I remember one time uh, we had gone there and I saw Rainy there, and I wanted a Gringo sticker because he was sponsored by Gringo. And I tried to roll in on the 9 foot half pipe and I fell all the way to flat. One of my first boards though was probably a Pokemon board from Walmart. It was one of the boards with the plastic trucks. I ended up just spray painting it green. Uh, I was more into just sitting on the board and rolling down the hills with my friends, and at the time we thought it was a cool thing to do. We would always rollerblade at the tank. We always tried to be like the jackass guys, and we would just be really stupid, just like running into the ramps and just being really dumb and careless. In fifth grade, or I was about 10, I went to LBJ on the day it opened with my friend Jordan Ramirez. We were really young at the time, so we went with helmets, and we more along the line just stood along the bowl and watched the other older skateboarders skate around. But it was a good experience getting to go to LBJ on the very first day it opened. In sixth grade, I went to Driscoll for half a year and then ended up moving to Mansfield in Dallas. And there was more kids that didn't skateboard up there. But I ended up moving back in seventh grade, but I was in the Bradley district. And I ended up picking up skateboarding again, meeting some friends. And we would always skate the ditches at the park by our houses. And I ended up picking it up again and meeting my some older kids. One of the kids, Zach Villafana, we would always skate around and ended up picking skateboarding back up. The next year, I ended up going to Bradley, and it ended up being more of a tragic year for me. I think I was about 14, and we were skating this ditch we called White Ditch, and I ended up we were seeing who could ollie the farthest off this one little it was about like a 3 or 4 stair, and I ended up ollieing and breaking my ankle. And I remember I had to get a cast all the way up to my thigh, and then I ended up getting into a walking cast. My family and me, we ended up going to Florida, and we were at my great grandparents' house, or my great grandma's house, and my grandpa and me, we were trying to cut off the cast, or eventually ended up cutting the cast off in the garage a week early because I had gotten it wet, and I just wanted the cast off really badly. Once we got back to San Antonio, it was a week after I had cut my cast off early, and I was skateboarding fine. We were skateboarding four stair, me and some of my other friends, and we were just seshing it up pretty good, doing ollies, and pretty much I had ollied it once, but pretty much I hit a crack in front of the four stair, bailed, jumped over the four stair, didn't want to land on the leg that I had just broken, put out my other leg, and broke my left ankle. And pretty much, yeah, I was pretty much freaking out. I teared up a little bit. My friend Zach said, "Don't freak out. Like, you just rolled it, bro. You just rolled it." And I ended up skateboarding home on a broken ankle, and didn't even tell my grandma until the morning. I remember hopping down the stairs and then sitting on the couch and just telling my grandma, "Hey, I broke my ankle," and she said, "The same one?" I was just like, "Nope, different one." So we ended up going to the Stone Oak Hospital, getting some X-rays, and pretty much I was out for another 3 months with a walking cast. So yeah, that took me out for about half a year out of the skateboarding game. Whenever I got older in high school, I didn't really keep up with skateboarding as much as I would have liked to. Everybody got girlfriends, started growing up a little bit, getting jobs, focusing on school. Um, we ended up trying to get a skateboard club started whenever I was a freshman. Me and one of my other friends in our English class. Our teacher, Mr. Jopling, was talking to Miss Barris, who had started the skateboard club at MacArthur. So we were trying to get it started there. We were all skateboarding in the old cafeteria and actually inside our English teacher's classroom, which was pretty cool. But two kids ended up ruining it for everybody else. Um, One kid ended up falling in the classroom and hitting the teacher in the morning in the knee, so the teacher had to get surgery. And then one of my other friends, Chris Johnson, ended up getting his board taken away in the morning and by a teacher, and he grabbed it back from the teacher and ran across the street to a gas station. So it pretty much ruined the skateboarding club. I skateboarded a lot of flat ground in high school, but and a little bit at the park, but I ended up picking skateboarding more back up once I was out of high school because I had more free time and just more free time on my hands and just always went to the park more. I remember about 3 years ago, my friend Delson had hit me up. I had just gotten my first paycheck at a job, and pretty much he was just like, "Yo, bro, let's go to the park." I was like, "Yo, bro, I'm down. Let's go." And then we ended up. He said, "Yo, let's go to the X Games." Like it was the first year X Games had come to Austin. So yeah, we went up to the X Games and ended up driving up there, cashed my check, stopped at a McDonald's for drinks, and pretty much, yeah, we were skating in front of the Capitol building on 11th Street in Austin and playing skate. And I ended up running into my friend Zach there. Ended up skating some of the ramps. Whole 11th Street was blocked off, and they weren't having the original X Games, I guess, like the big one with the competition and stuff. I think they had a BMX competition, but ended up skating this. The ramps were made out of some weird like fiberglass and slippery, and I was going up for a frontside 50-50 right after backing my friend, or I was backing my friend Zach up. He had done a backside axle stall and was standing at the bottom of the ramp, so I was like, why not show him my new trick that I just learned at the park? So I was going for a frontside 50-50 on this 5-foot ramp, and the one at our park is like 6 feet, so I pretty much was skating a smaller ramp, and I was going into a lip slide and over rotating, I guess, and ended up going down backwards, fourth try, and breaking my left leg. And I heard a couple people, and I was sitting in the middle of the ramp, and I heard a couple people say, "I think he's hurt, I think he broke something," and then I like saw through my pants, like my leg was fucked up. So I pretty much jumped off the ramp, found my friend, or a cop had come up to me and said, "Hey, do you need me to get paramedics?" And I was just like, "Nah, man, I'm looking for my friend." And pretty much found my friend. He hauled ass to the parking garage, and I like hopped down 11th Street in Austin, a random city that I don't go to that often, and got to the end of 11th Street, a four-way intersection, and pretty much paramedics started wrapping my leg. I was just like asking for water. Can I please get some water? Some random guy came up, gave me a dab. Uh, Pretty much the cops were being dicks, like I said, wouldn't give me water. And my friend Delson pulls up, like almost hits some people crossing the street, pulls up behind the barricades, and like the cops wouldn't let me hop in his car for a little bit. I hopped in his car, uh, ended up printing my name real fast on this thing, I guess, because had skated the X Games ramps, and hauled ass back to San Antonio, and didn't even tell my grandparents or my mom about it till we had reached San Marcos. Ended up going to the Stone Oak Hospital. They had put my leg and pretty much cast, and had to wait a week because we didn't have insurance, and had to get surgery after my 21st birthday. Pretty shitty.